it's Reading Pips here, and today we're actually going to be going over, how much money can you actually earn in Forex. But in order to kind of cover this, we firstly need to kind of go over targets, because I strongly do believe that with information it's very hard to decipher who's being genuine out there, and some people will say one thing, some people will say other things, and from someone who's trying to learn the skill set, it's hard to validate who is telling you the truth and who is just telling you a load of opinions. And that's the whole point of this channel, to try to make sure that I'm telling you and giving you enough information so that you feel confident that I'm telling you an answer which is doable. So with that being said, firstly we need to kind of focus on the risk to reward aspect. Now, focusing on this aqua box right about here, we know that risk to reward simply means how much are you looking to risk in terms of how much are you looking to gain. So a risk to reward ratio of 1 to 3 means that if I'm risking £10, I'm actually looking to get £30 back. So let's actually break this down. Instead of saying £10 and £30, let's look at it in percentages, because any successful investor, any investor at all to be fair, looks at return of interest, right? They look at it in terms of percentage. So let's break this one down to percentage. Instead of saying a risk to reward of 1 to 3, let's say a risk of 1% and you're looking to get 3% back per trade. Hope that makes sense. So let's break this one down. And again, this is highlighting the importance of risk to reward, highlighting the importance of planning and preparing your trades and not just acting spontaneous, because when emotions kick in, it just goes downhill from there. So for example, say if I win 2 trades and I lose 2 trades. So ultimately, let's play this one out. If I was to win my first trade, I'm winning 3% of my account, right? So if I was to win 2 trades, that means I've won 6% overall. Alright? Now imagine the next 2 trades I took, I lost. When I lose for each trade, I lose 1%. So the first trade that I lose is 1%. The second trade which I lose is 2%. So that's where these 2 numbers come from. So if I was to obviously subtract them, you'll find that I've got a net of 4%. So imagine if I just took 4 trades that week, I won 2 of them, I've lost 2 of them, I've gained 4% that week. And I will show you why this is significant very shortly. Now let's use the exact same example, but let's say instead of risking 1% per trade, let's say if we were risking 2% per trade. So first, remember, when you start out as a trader, you should only be risking 1 to 3% of what you have in your account balance. So this example on the left in Aqua is 1%. If you was risking 2% of what you have in your account, is the purple. And if you're risking 3% of what you have in your account, this is the blue right here. So progressing forwards, imagine the same thing. Risk to reward of 1 to 3, but this time every single trade, you're risking 2% of what you have in your account. So what that looks like, and obviously in return you're looking to get 6% back. So what that looks like is if I was to win 2 trades, bearing in mind every single time I'm winning now, because my risk to reward is 1 to 3, every time I'm winning, I'm gaining 6%. So I win my first trade, 6%, great. I win my second trade, that's now 12%. Now, with the losses, remember every time I lose, I'm now looking to lose 2%. So, first trade, I lost obviously 2%. Second trade, I lost 4%. Bam, subtract those. That week, I won 2, I lost 2, but I've got a net of 8%. So, I grew my account by 8% that week. I hope this is making sense. You might need to pause this and rewind it a few times, because it is a bit of a head screw. Alright, now the same thing, but this time I'm risking 3% of what I have per trade. And obviously this is the higher end of a spectrum, especially when you're new. So imagine this one. I'm risking, obviously per trade, I win my first trade, so great, 9%, I won on my first trade. I win my second trade, bam, that's now 18%. Now imagine from there I get a bit too confident, I get a bit too bossy, traders are at their weakest when they're doing their best. So say the next 2 trades, I get overly confident. First trade, I lose 3%, because remember, risk reward of 1 to 3. First trade, 3%. Second trade, that's now 6%. So when I subtract both of those, that's 16%. So by only being 50% accurate on my trades, winning half and losing half, but making sure I stick to my rules of 1 to 3%, now that you find that, okay, well, great, you know, it's not actually so bad, you know, you're 50-50, and by making sure you stick to a good risk to reward, you've now kind of compounded your account this much. Now, this understanding is absolutely crucial, because when it comes to the next session in terms of, well, how much money can I actually look to gain when trading in the foreign exchange market, or, you know, what kind of account balance do I need to start off with? This understanding right here is hopefully going to prove to you that it doesn't really matter what you start with, but by knowing what your target is, by knowing that you want to achieve 4% a week, or by knowing that you want to achieve 8% a week or 16% a week, which some people will tell you it can't be done, but hopefully these numbers are giving you confidence, well, it can be done actually. All you need to do is win 2 trades, lose 2 trades at a risk to reward of 1 to 3, and it actually is looking kind of pretty feasible. Now, my mentor personally, he does 20% per week. And if you was to see what that compounds into, you will absolutely be blown away. Albert Einstein says compound interest is the 8th wonder of the world. No one kind of really understands, well, sorry, most people don't really understand the true power of compound interest. And this is exactly an understanding that you need to have, because a lot of people, they will get disheartened. You know, they will be having a £100 account and only be growing it by, say, that 1%, so, you know, they get like, what, £1 for a £100 account, and I get disheartened by that, and I try speeding up the process and be like, oh, I just want to earn as much money as possible. But when you actually stop focusing on your account balance and you start looking at it in terms of percentage, and then you project that over a period of time, that's when you find you stop getting impatient. That's when you understand, you know what, there's a plan, and that's where, you know, you realize that this is a long-term game. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. So guys, hang on to the next video, and I'm definitely going to break this down into how much money can I actually earn from trading in the foreign exchange market, and how much do I need to start off with, because this relationship is proportional to both of those answers. Guys, trade safe, trade smart, and just don't trade too often. Have a great week.